I'm a big fan of these Longtail outboard motors, and I've used them on heaps of different projects. And I've always wanted to make an electric one, so I got this little electric motor off AliExpress. After printing a mounting bracket and threading the wires through, it was time to get a piece of aluminium and cut some holes so I can feed the wires out higher up. I have 3D printed this skeg here in 2 pieces, and I've just got some aluminium welding wire that I've shoved in the holes there to join them together. Put some super glue on, see if it works. Ended up mixing up a little bit of polyester resin as the super glue was all dried up. But this chemically bonds to the PETG, so it'll be nice and strong. Then it was time to wire it up. I used one of these VESCs 75-100 and solder all the joints up. You got to take your time doing this because you want to have a good connection. Okay, this is the simple wiring for this thing. The phase wires straight in there. The power wires, I've got an XD60 connector which will connect to, got this old e-bike battery. It's only 36 volts, so this will be alright for testing. And then simple throttle. All that's inside here is a magnet and a Hall effect sensor which is sealed, so this would probably work if it's wet. That's wired into, you got the power wires for it, then the other wire coming out, the yellow one is, yellow or white is the signal wire, and that goes to the purple wire which is on COM. It comes with this diagram here. So I've got plus from this one, minus from this one, and then the signal wire is the purple one there, ADC1. I don't know why it's that, but that's what it is. The battery is plugged in. You get the blue light on here, and then I've plugged into the USB port here and hooked up to the computer. You need to get this VESC app on your computer. There's my thing there, connect to it. Don't update anything or it'll crash. Go to MotorsVic, VOC. I guess I'll choose medium in runner. It'll pick up your battery automatically, 12S it's saying. Okay, once you hit run detection, it's going to run the motor and figure out what it is. Let's see if it works. This is the first time trying this. It's working. From that test, somehow it knows all that information. And she is ready to use almost. I've got to choose our direction. I need to put the propeller on. Alright, let's try forward. Okay, it's spinning the right way. If it's not, you just click reverse here, but that's good. Then you go into your input here, and this will be your throttle setup. You go for your e-bike throttle. Then you get your throttle and you move it. See if it works. If it doesn't work, you've got it wired up wrong. Computer's disconnected from it now totally, and I've got full control. Alright, this is the first test. It's got so much power. I'm only just running that on the throttle. Way more power than I thought. Goes that fast, you can use it as a blower for the fire. I'm super impressed with this so far. It's got a lot more thrust than I thought it would with this little battery. Might have to drop the amps back a bit just to protect the battery, But the next hardest problem is I've got to get this whole thing waterproof. So if you drop it, it'll just float. Got this piece of PVC pipe here, 100mm. Will it go? Oh, nearly. We can change that though. Now into the computer model to show you how it's going to all work. The handle can slide in and out depending on how long you want the whole thing. The electric motor bolts to the end there with the bracket I've already made, and then I've got the skeg and the propeller. I haven't drawn in the wires, but they go through the whole lot into this piece of 45mm aluminium tube. This was actually off an old hang glider, super lightweight. Then up the front here we have a plastic clamp over a TPU sleeve, and then another seal inside the tapered part. Then we've got the brackets for the handle, we've got the battery and the vest controller. Then we've got an end cap which also has some TPU seals on the end of it. So let's print all these parts out and see if this whole thing goes together, and more importantly, doesn't leak. Just 3D printing a TPU O-ring, lip seal I mean, goes on here, it'll go on the other gap to seal the rear housing. Once these are printed out, I just give them a bit of a coat with polyester resin. It's just so they don't leak, because most 3D prints are a bit hygroscopic. Alright, it's all together. I'm just going to test it to see if it leaks. It most likely will. No air bubbles. Control it with just one hand, reasonably easy even. Oh well, the first test is going surprisingly well, except for getting the fishing line snagged and there's no fish around. I did see a couple of quite good sized fish, but they're mullet and they don't eat bait. They're like vegetarian, vegan fishes. But this is a little bit hard to operate on here. It would be nice if I had a pivot so I could use it like a conventional longtail. But if you have both hands free, it's really nice to stand up and drive, and I don't know if you can see on the camera, but you get a really good view into the water. You can see the fishies. This underwater footage of the propeller came out a lot better than I thought it was going to with the 360 camera. So I'll be doing a fair bit more of this just to sort of get an idea of what's going on. Time for the sponsor of this video, Justway. This is a clutch that I 3D modelled for a go-kart. It's very similar to a Rotax clutch. This part has been EDM cut and also machined out of spring steel. So the heavy weight parts that you can see there will fling out from the centrifugal force and grab onto the outer housing. So it just works by flexing itself. They did an awesome job machining this part. There'll be a link in the description. Once you're happy with your model, 3D print it first just to make sure everything's okay, and then go to the Justway website and click on whatever service you need, usually machining for me. And then all you do is go through and follow the super simple instructions and your part will get sent out to you. They give you a bit of a quote then and there, and then they sometimes adjust it depending on how complex it is to machine. So I went out to the go-kart track with my friend Adam just to see if this thing would work.
Adam's a skilled mechanic.
Oh yeah, it's perfect though.
Yeah, I reckon it'll work. Nice.
Slightly different, hey? So this was actually a nighttime race, and it was pretty dark by the time we got it all in there, but it seemed to be working fine, so he thought he'd run it. So Adam managed to get way out in front with this clutch because it engaged much earlier than the other cart's clutches, and I think it stopped them from getting wheel spin. So we got quite far in front, but he had some sort of issue with his steering, so he sort of backed off a bit. How'd the clutch go, mate?
Right, best clutch I've ever driven.
Okay, that worked really well on the catamaran, but now we're going to try it out on a paddleboard, but I'm going to get Dad to do it as my shoulder's still recovering from shoulder surgery, so I've got to be careful with this sort of thing. So Dad actually did really well having a go with this thing, and he could move around okay, but it just wouldn't go fast, and it was quite hard to steer, mostly because it couldn't get up to planing speed. So I think we need a bit more power. And I think maybe a more aggressive propeller is the thing we're going to try next. But it did work and it was manageable. Just needs more power and maybe a little bit different handle position or something like that. There's the standard 3-blade propeller right there. I 3D printed a super aggressive surface drive Longtail prop. So we'll try that. I think it's going to be way too aggressive. I copied another one I found. It's a little bit bendy, so I'm hoping it will work. Might have made it too thin. This little boat, we're both in here and Stephen's running it at full power and it's slower than it was yesterday. So I'm definitely going to need a bigger battery. We're going a lot faster now with the tide, but still just no power. That's way worse than it was before. There goes the prop. So a surface drive propeller is actually supposed to suck air in and it causes supercavitation. It actually protects the blade and makes it more efficient, but it's clearly doing something too much. I think it's just too much pitch on this propeller. Next video we'll try different propellers and a different battery, and I'll try and get a better underwater camera angle so we can see what's going on. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.